Welcome back, everyone. This is Jarenitis bringing you Feed the Beast 1.6. Today we are starting on episode 71. Before we start doing anything, I want to do a couple things. First off, thank you to, I believe the name is Reynold van der Hagen. I think it's Hagen. I don't really know how to say that, but he he seems to be the person responsible for uh, for pointing me out on Reddit. So a big shout out to him. Thank you. I have gained 400 plus subscribers on this YouTube in right at 24 hours, and it seems to be continuing to go up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Second thing, I have allergies. I'm allergic to pollen uh, and dust and the cat that my wife loves to have. So right now, all three of those are acting on me very strongly. So there may be a bunch of sniffles. I may mute my mic from time to time to sneeze or to blow my nose or something. So try to keep that in mind, and I apologize ahead of time. Okay, on with the episode. So last episode we got moving on bee breeding. Okay, and we managed to successfully breed eldritch bees. Okay, so we have an eldritch princess who is a pristine stock. Okay, now when I put her in with the drone that I had made last episode, they produced two mundane combs, and I got this princess and two eldritch drones. I intended to spend some time in between episodes doing stuff, but I realized that I left out an important part about breeding. And that is that when you are specifically breeding for one type of bee, a lot of the times you will come up with drones that are both pure, but their traits will be different. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. So we shift click this one in here, and we see that we have shorter, shorter, slowest, slower, slowest, slow, flowers, 2 fertility and 3 fertility, and then we have diurnal, flyer in the active, but not in the inactive. Okay, so these are various things that are different between this bee. And then we're going to take this other bee and we're going to, well, actually here, let's pull this one out and put this one in. Okay, now this one actually seems to be more consistent, except for here speed is slowest, slower. But everything else seems to be about the same, other than the flyer, yes and no. Now, the question is, since I now have these two Eldritch drones, now, if I want to be really picky, I can try to choose which one of these I want to breed with my princess. Okay, so I'm going to bring the other one. I've got one in here showing its stats. I'm going to bring this other one up here. Now, when I left click it in here, it's going to swap the two out. Okay, when it swaps the two out, we'll be able to see the difference between their stats. So here's this one's stats, and then here's the other one's stats. This one's stats, the other one's stats. Any questions? Um, excuse me. Sorry, I should have muted for that, but oh well. So what we are looking at here is a choice as to which one of these drones I want to breed with the princess. So as we can see, this one has 2 fertility for both active and inactive, and it has pollination at slowest and slowest. The other drone has pollination of a possibility of slow. Okay, we're going to leave that one in there because that's the one I want to focus on. This one has an inactive trait of 3 drones, and it has an inactive trait of slow pollination as opposed to slowest pollination. Therefore, this bee has a superior potential to be bred with the princess, so we're going to use this one. Now, just because we're going to breed this one with the princess doesn't mean that the slow versus slowest is going to show up, or the 3 times versus 2 times. However, we're putting that in the mix. We're putting that in the possibilities. And when it comes to genetics, it's all possibilities. Okay, so we're going to breed this one in with her. And when she comes back around, well, actually, let's look at her real quick before we do that, because it's relevant. Okay, so see, she has pollination slowest, slowest. but she also has the possibility of 3 drones being created on her death. And she has fly as an inactive trait. Oh, and the temp tolerance. That's weird. But so the point is that we're throwing this stuff in there, and through several generations of breeding, we might wind up with bees that are stable, as in all their traits are the same and will maintain the same until altered. And if those stable traits turn out to be the slow pollination instead of the slowest pollination, then we did a good thing by specifically breeding her with that drone instead of the other. I don't think there's anything on this guy that I want. No, I don't think there is. And this is still going very nicely. When breeding bees, it's always good to have a trash can or a void chest handy because you really don't need that many of them. Okay, so let's see. Okay, right. So we're going to continue with this. We need to get this needs to run for a little bit so that it will produce enough drones to keep a couple drones off to the side in case I need them for breeding later. It's always good to have a couple extra drones, okay? Reason for that is the Eldritch Queen is fine, but when she cycles through and gives you some extra drones, you're going to want to have some of those because down the line, if we're trying to make some other kind of bee and it requires XB plus a Eldritch bee, having the Eldritch bee drones just laying around is a lot easier than taking something you have an excessive amount of drones of and going over here and using the Eldritch bee serum to make a drone to use for breeding. It takes a lot less time and effort to do it to have the extra drones laying around as opposed to forcefully making the drones. That takes a long time, so it's better to do it this way. Okay, so because we're not worried about what this princess is making, what we want to do is we want to set up this hive to be automated. Okay, I meant to do this earlier and I forgot about it, but this will only take a second. I'm actually kind of good at it, as you might have noticed. So while I'm doing this, let's talk about something else. Yeah, right, I'm not that good. I can't talk about something else and do this. I'll never get it done. Alright, 1 wooden transport pipe, 2 golden transport pipes, 1 apiarist pipe, and then we're going to need a autarkic gate and a chest. Alright, this should just take a second. I use my Bealizer to break wood. Seems like a good idea. Alright. Let's switch to bat form. Oh man, sorry. I muted for a second there because it had to be done. Okay, golden transport pipe, wooden transport pipe. Wooden transport pipe gets the autarkic gate. And then down here, we put 1 more golden transport pipe. Then the apiarist's pipe goes there. White gets any bees. Red gets anything. And now, all we have to do is put this as redstone signal off, energy pulsar. So now, this will automatically cycle. Now, point to be made. By setting this to automatically cycle, I am taking away my ability to selectively breed. Okay? Because I'm not really worried about the Eldritch Queen or the Eldritch Bees becoming anything very specific. I am going to let them auto-cycle, and by auto-cycling, I'm not going to be choosing which drone. Because she's going to make, when she dies, we're going to get a princess, and we're going to get 2 drones that are not the same. Okay? Normally, if I cared, I would go in and I would beelize all of them and then choose which one would be best put together for what I'm trying to go for. However, in this case, I'm not actually trying to go for anything. I was showing you guys an example of how you could selectively breed bees, but realistically, I don't care about this. I just need her to breed through and get me some drones. Okay? Now, realistically, the better way to go about this would be to go ahead and toss one of my Oblivion frames in here. That way she breeds through quickly. Okay? I'm not wasting my Oblivion frames on that, because no. You know, maybe if I was already producing them, then heck, if I was already producing them, I know I would use them. But we're not, so we're not going to. Alright, so instead, we are going to make some chocolate frames. Chocolate frames kill bees quickly. And they are impregnated frames plus cocoa beans. Uh-oh. Do I even have any cocoa beans? Oh, what am I talking about? Hey, dummy. Not only do I have cocoa beans, but I have them here. They are produced by one of my bees. I believe it's the, Valiant. I think it's Valiant bees create these. Okay, so, I wonder if I have any cocoa, man. Yeah, you do. Oh, that's right. 4. Alright, so we're going to make 3 of these. Sorry again. And we're going to toss these in here. Basically, these act similar to Oblivion frames. Oblivion frames kill them in one tick. Okay, one time the health bar goes down, they're done. That's it. Each chocolate frame just increases the amount of health lost per tick. Okay, with all 3 in there, I honestly don't remember how fast it's going to kill them. I'm wanting to say that 3 chocolate frames will act similar to a Oblivion frame, and that's obviously wrong. Because otherwise she would have died just then. Actually, that didn't seem to go down much at all. Maybe it's just now taking effect. Maybe it's just now activating. Let's watch for just a second and see how much she goes down this next life tick. Huh. Okay. Okay, well, we need to let her breed up a little bit because we're going to use the princess to continue on with what we are doing. We needed the Eldritch Bee so that we could then breed the Eldritch Bee with some other kind of bee to do some other kind of thing and some other kind of thing and so on and so forth. In the meantime, we're going to move on with some other kinds of bees. Specifically, there are bees that will, oops, no, toss this in here and that in there. So anyway, we're going to start trying to make a different kind of bee, okay? And let's see, I'm going to do a quick search for, now, some people would use my villager melting method to gain emeralds. It's a really good way to do it. It's kind of cruel to the villagers. So that being the case, we're going to make emerald bees. Emerald bees are going to be really cool. They actually produce emerald shards. And of course, emerald shards make emeralds. However, we have noble, and that's great, but it requires lapis bees. Okay, wow, it's just going to be a coffee hacky morning for me. Sorry. So noble bees we got noble bees while we were working our way towards imperial bees. So that's not a big deal. We already have them. But then we're going to need lapis bees. And lapis bees, well, they're going to take some doing. Alright, so lapis bees are resilient bees plus water bees. Water bees are world-generated bees from extra bees. Okay, it says forestry for Minecraft, but that's actually not true to my... I don't think, anyway. I think it's extra bees that adds watery bees. Anyway, we'll get to those. Those are world gen, so I don't have to worry about that. So then we have resilient bees. Well, resilient bees are imperial plus robust. Imperial we already have plenty of. And then robust bees are rocky plus tolerant. Rocky is a world gen bee, so we don't have to make any of those. So tolerant is rocky plus diligent. I think we already have diligent. We had to get diligent while we were going through the stages to get imperial bees, or industrial bees. It's industrial bees. And of course, if we want to, diligent is common plus cultivated, and common bees are any normal world gen B plus any other normal world gen B. Okay, so we want to go, let me click back through this real quick because I forgot. Okay, so we need tolerant, so we need rocky plus diligent to start out. So let's see over here, do I have any diligent? I have 191 diligent drones. I think we're good to go. Alright, so now I need a pristine rocky princess. I have 167 pristine rocky princesses. Now, you might ask yourself, how does he have so many rocky princesses? Well, remember when I decided that I was going to use just a good old boring quarry to do all my digging for me? Well, rocky princesses are in rocky hives. Rocky hives are down in the earth, and a quarry, when breaking them, collects the bees for me. So I have plenty of extras here. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now, there is a minus side to this, okay? And I did not prepare for this particular problem, but the minus side to using the Rocky Bee as the base, all Rocky Bees have a 1 fertility. They will only produce a princess and 1 drone. Okay, when you're breeding, only getting 1 drone makes it more difficult to get what you want. So, we're going to throw these in here real quick, and we're going to let them do their thing. Hopefully, if we're really lucky, we will get the next tier of bees. That being the case, I need to get... Was it these guys that I was looking for? These are the ones. Okay, that's why I had these in. I knew I had these bees in here for some reason, but I couldn't remember why. I'm trying to get the maximum fertility on as a serum, because maximum fertility, it gives them 4 drones, and I would inoculate both of these bees to have the 4 times drones. That way, because 4 drones gives you a better chance of getting the drone that you want. Okay, so that can go on for a few minutes, and we'll see what's going on over here. How's this thing looking? I should have some stuff here. Yes, okay, so she has produced a drone. And let's see, just for fun. Yeah, of course. This one has the slow pollination on it. This is actually the one I would have wanted to breed on it if I had been paying attention, but since I wasn't, it took the first one that came through. And that's okay, because like I said, I'm not worried about it. But for for those of you who want to do selective breeding, that's how you would go about it. And she's about to tick through again. Let's watch this for a second and see what exactly she comes up with. While we're waiting for this, a general shout out to Slowpoke101. Gentleman also tweeted about me. He put up on his Twitter that he doesn't usually talk about YouTubers, and that he was putting me up there for people to consider. And I just a shout out to him. Chances of you watching this are slim to nil, but thank you, sir. All right, good. So she went on, she produced that, and we should now have 2 drones here. Excellent. Okay, so they will continue to go. I really want to have them be stackable drones, because these have different traits, so they won't stack. It's easier when they stack, because, well, it's easier when they stack. So, we could probably let this run for a little while, and just let that go. In the meantime, let's see how these are doing. I know they're done. Alright, so we wound up with a Diligent and a Rocky drone. Now, these should be Diligent Rocky and Rocky Diligent. No, we got Diligent Tolerant. Excellent. It's a good start. And Rocky Diligent. But because there's only 1 princess and 1 drone, the only choice we have is to put them back together. Now, excuse me again, good God. Now, the interesting thing about this is now we have the necessary building blocks to go on to the next stage. Okay, so let me show you real quick. Let's go with lapis bees because they're easy to see. Okay, so we have resilient, imperial, robust, and tolerant. Okay, so we were breeding Rocky and Diligent together. Okay, and we wound up with um, Diligent, Rocky, and Tolerant as a recessive trait. Okay, so the recessive trait was the inactive part. It was part of the princess. Okay, so that being the case, now if we look back here, Rocky plus Tolerant is robust. We actually have a chance, without even getting a solid Tolerant B, of skipping straight over to robust. So we very well might wind up with robust as part of this. Where'd they go? Okay, I was about to say, what the heck? So because of the way genetics works, we could have had that happen. So we have Rocky Tolerant and Rocky Tolerant. So now this actually is an interesting problem because we have Rocky Tolerant on both of these. We could now, if we breed them, we could wind up with solid Rocky or solid Tolerant. But I don't think that we have any other option as far as that's concerned. So if we wind up with solid Rocky again, then we'll just have to get another Diligent drone from the ME system and proceed to start all over again. So as you can see, the percentages really, it's really chance. I mean, you have it's a roulette game in reality. So let's do this real quick because I don't need them. Excellent. I love the fact that this works. I love watching these. My B setup. I know my B setup is a little bit crazy. It is. But the first time I did Bs, and the first time I ever did Bs, I did a setup just like this. And I liked it so much. Every time I have restarted a mod pack, every time I have played again, because I started out in 1.4.7, and that was Feed the Beast Ultimate. Okay, I played Ultimate and I created Honeycomb Hideout and I built it just like this. Okay, I then restarted on the same server as my original creation, only I started playing with my wife and Max. Max is the guy who does the computer digging program. I restarted there and I rebuilt Honeycomb Hideout. I did it instead of using the one that was already live on the server. I completely restarted and built it again, and I built it just like this, only a little bit bigger. Not bigger than this right here, bigger than the original. And I built it like this, and I loved it. I loved it. It was not as easy back then though, because we didn't have pipe plugs. Pipe plugs didn't exist. It made it much more complicated. Um, but so I did that then, and then I moved on to Feed the Beast Unleashed, and I made Honeycomb Hideout in my original YouTube series. I had actually just finished Honeycomb Hideout when when my world got corrupted and everything went away. So, ooh, cool. We have a tolerant princess, sweet, and a Rocky drone. Okay, now this presents, well, anyway. So I played in Unleashed, and I did that, and then that world got corrupted, and then I played on Unleashed with my wife and Max on his server, and I rebuilt Honeycomb Hideout there. Okay, so this Honeycomb Hideout is actually Honeycomb Hideout Mark 5, if you want to go technical. 5? Yeah, 2 on Ultimate, 2 on Unleashed, and 1 here. Yes, so this is actually Honeycomb Hideout Mark 5, if that gives you an idea of how much I like making these things. And yes, they're a pain in the butt, but I love them. They're fun and annoying and just great. So anyway, now we are presented with a rather specific problem here. Okay, I have a pure tolerant princess, and I want to get a tolerant species serum, but with just one tolerant princess and no tolerant drones, I would have to put the princess in to the analyzer and have a chance of her being destroyed. And I have a chance of her being not only do I have a chance of her being destroyed, but I have a chance of not actually getting anything from it. So that would be a problem for me. So I have two choices. One, I can. Did I not? Oh, they're serum. Oh, okay. I thought they were serum vials. I was wrong. So I can take the tolerant and I can just put her in. I can take her and breed her with the Rocky drone and see what happens, because we might wind up with robust instead of more tolerant. or we might wind up with more tolerance or whichever. Now, since tolerance is the first tier past Rocky, and I have plenty of Rocky princesses and plenty of Rocky drones, I could go either way. Um, Realistically, I'm just going to toss it back in and see what happens, because I can always just start all over and do it all over again. Default territory, humidity none, slowest production, default territory, slowest flowering, slowest production. Maximum fertility! Ha! I'm going to leave that one right there so I don't accidentally destroy it right now. Alright, you guys get lost. I don't care about you. However, you, maximum fertility, you're going straight into the synthesizer. Synthesizer, fill that up with all kinds of good juicy stuff. Alright, none effect. There we go, fast production. Okay, so now we're going to be purifying the fast production serum because we don't have anything else to purify at the moment. We have the none effect serum now. That one's going in my frequently used section. I'm going to put it down here since it's charged. All of these need to go through and be cycled in and charged and stuff added to them. These don't need to have anything special done to them unless I actually find out that I need one. If it turns out that I actually don't have anything going in the synthesizer or purifier, I might fill those up just because of possible future needs. Okay, so before we go any further, I should make one fairly major notation. Okay, and this really is a big deal. I should have mentioned it last episode, or maybe even the episode before that. These genetic machines use a ton of power. I mean, like, excessively large amounts of power. So before I actually got ready to make these, I upgraded the power system over here, and I'm going to need to be a bat for this. And while I'm doing that, hang on a second. Yep. No more tolerant. That's kind of funny. We got robust tolerant drone and a robust tolerant princess. So we're going to toss them both back in there and see if we come up with pure robust or pure whatever. Okay, so here, I knew there was something else I needed to do, and this is it. I'll get into, oh, that's great. I'm being stung and have regen at the same time. How's that for messed up? One's killing me, one's trying to keep me alive. Yay. Okay, so I increased the number of magmatic dynamos, okay? Magmatic dynamos, I had 3 here originally, and now I have 7. Okay, but you might notice that all of these magmatic dynamos, it says 0 out of 40,000 RF. Okay, that means that I'm actually still, right now, I'm using more RF than I'm creating. Okay, so these 7 magmatic dynamos are not enough to maintain these machines. These machines are taking way more than that. Okay, so that being the case, let's chop up the floor for a second so I can show you. In between episodes, I put in an array of batteries. So I have 6 redstone energy cells, and they're all outputting in series, okay? Now, these outputs can take 2,000 RF per tick as an output. The redstone energy conduit can take 10,000 RF per tick. So I probably went a little overboard, and you have my apologies for that. But at 2,000 RF per tick, 5 of these makes it so that 10,000 RF per tick can be output if necessary, if it's needed. Now, I knew that it used a lot of MJ, Minecraft joules, but I wasn't sure how much RF it would actually take to run these machines, so I decided to go with the maximum possible output that the redstone energy conduit can handle. So we have 5 batteries, and as you can see, it's actually only taking from the 1. I don't know why that is, but I'm sure that if it required more, that it would go ahead and take more as well. So as you can see, that this is down to 6 million. 6 million. So it's down to 6 million out of 10 million from running these machines. Now, thankfully, it has another 40 million RF to pull from, and it's actually still generating RF from the magmatic dynamos. So 7 magmatic dynamos, and it's still going down as fast as you're seeing right here. So at some point, I may have to upgrade my power system to handle more if it decides that if it drains all of these batteries. If I work at this continuously enough to drain all of these batteries, then we may have to do something about that. But I wanted to let you guys know that that existed and show you that I did that off camera because I like to highlight off camera work because reasons. Alright, so let's see. Oh wow, we've already gotten more of these. We got default territory. Okay, there's nothing in my inventory. Okay, default territory, humidity tolerance, none. End pollination serum. I think I've already got that one. Cave dwelling. Temp up to tolerance. That one's one I want to keep. Humidity none. End pollination. No, wait a minute. Didn't I just have end pollination? Was that one? Okay, yes it is. Okay. Humidity, default territory. These are all shorter lifespan. These are all stuff that I'm not worried about, so we will fry these. Except for that one. Okay, never mind. I do have that one. Alrighty, so now let's see what we wound up with over here. I'm a bat again. Being a bat is cool, but the change in view is really odd. Alright, so we wound up with robust and robust. Let's see if they are purebred. It would be awesome if they are purebred, because ending the episode on a purebred breeding would be awesome. So, well, we got robust for the drone, but the princess is not pure. So we're going to throw these in here one more time and give them one more chance to come out pure before I end this episode. Now, a lot of people don't like bees. They don't. I mean, they're a hassle. They can be really annoying. So I understand if people skip these episodes. I'm just going to be spending the next probably 5 to 10 episodes breeding bees. That's all I'm going to be doing. Because I'm using the Oblivion frames. Ooh, we got extra drones. Because I'm using the Oblivion frames, I can do it rather quickly. If I wasn't using Oblivion frames, I would have to do them a different way. Alright, robust. And robust. And robust. Yay! So, apologies to those who don't like bees. I have a lot of other videos you can watch while I'm doing this, and I will get past these as soon as I can, but they take time. But now we have purebred robust bees, and that's where I'm going to call it a day. Well, an episode anyway. This is Jeronitis signing off on episode 71, and remember, help spread the gaming.